Welcome back, guys. This is Gaming with Austin. Today, we're gonna finish with getting the land ready for the beetroots. First, let's look for the seeds. There they are. Got it? In the meantime, let's talk about some news. Did you hear that there's gonna be a TV show based on Halo? With Master Chief leading the role, even though he was presumed to be dead in Halo 5. The reason he was presumed dead was because he was AWOL for a while. That AWOL was probably the result of the death of Cortana. In Halo 4. It had a huge impact on him because he was left isolated basically as a result. It's tough for both of them. Once I finish beating that soil, enough of the soil, eventually I'd go towards planting those beetroot seeds. Next topic, with Essential, which is a highly underrated phone brand. It's actually going to be the first non-Google brand to receive the Android Pie update. Which, by the way, its name was revealed yesterday. Because initially, the Google devices were the first to get that update, then followed by Essential. Before the name was revealed, there was rumors about what Android P would be. Like Peppermint, Popsicle, or maybe I don't know. That's all I can think of. I already completed the first piece, second piece of land right there. I'm almost done right there. Look at it. It's a huge plot of land. It's a really huge plot of land. I might do it in sections. Second section. And eventually I'd go layer by layer, just add another layer, just to make things more efficient, so I could do it in less time. Because, you know, I don't want to take the fun away from this. When it goes to chip manufacturers, the chip manufacturer, TSMC, that is responsible for making computer chips responsible for Apple, Samsung, Nvidia, and AMD, the Galaxy Note 9 would probably end up being delayed along with Nvidia GeForce 11 series graphics cards. And possibly the next iPhone, which would probably be called the iPhone 9. wouldn't be called... just like when they ditched the 7S in favor of the iPhone 8. Yeah. Oops. I accidentally tilled that land for the path. Oops. Let's fix that. Much better. And as I'm tilling one section of one column of the land, I can do the rows in less time. The more columns, the less rows I would have to do. Because I'd like to increase efficiency. Eventually, I'd start building... I forgot to finish watering that groove. Because back then... Did you hear about Samsung's Hisense solid-state drive? It's actually gonna end up getting cheaper. It used to cost you $1,600, but now you could get it for like $1,000 based on PC Parts Picker. Basically, what that site allows you to do is go for the best price when it goes to building your own computer. And it also checks the compatibility to see if the parts are interoperable. Meaning they can operate between each other. That's what I mean by interoperable. Just like an Xbox 360 controller can be interoperable with a PC. Just like a keyboard and Xbox One controller can be interoperable by a PC and an Xbox One. That type of interoperability. And also a 200 series chipset can be interoperable with a Skylake chipset, and 100 series can be interoperable with the Kaby Lake chipset, but a 300 series chipset requires a Coffee Lake. Because of the electrical output that requires that. Excuse me. That interoperability can mean potential forward or backward compatibility, which is probably what makes PCs really good for gaming. Which is why PCs are often called the master race of platform gaming. You have the best options with a PC, which is why I didn't want to go for a PS4 nor an Xbox One, because if I had one of those, I'd have to also buy a gaming DVR too. Those are not cheap at all. So I stuck with a PC to do my gaming videos on. With Logitech's iPhone charger, it's also a stand too. They're doing that to compete with the Apple iPhone stand. No wonder if Microsoft may end up releasing a new Surface Pro soon, called the Surface Pro 2018. where it utilizes the Kaby Lake, no, Kaby Lake Refresh or the Coffee Lake CPUs for its main CPUs, or maybe even Cannon Lake. That virus also back to the virus thing, it also impacted Intel's Coffee Lake, unfortunately, which caused them to have another delay. The Whiskey Lake is just a refresh of Coffee Lake. As Moore's Law comes to an end, we're going to see computers stay up to date for longer periods of time as a result of the end of Moore's Law. Because we can only make our transistors so small before they experience something called quantum tunneling. That quantum tunneling can short-circuit the CPU or other components. Let's think about the InfoWars. As the censorship debate goes on between Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, they start blocking InfoWars. A lot of it has to do with the relationship between the victim and the one who abused the victim. Oops. Yes. I know about that. They're doing it until further notice. As a result of that relationship. And if you add more columns, you can do rows more quickly. And if you combine that, you can do it more at a much faster rate. At a much faster rate than ever before. As a result. And eventually, this land would be tilled completely. As a result of my actions in Minecraft. That land, eventually I'll end up reaching 10 acres. I'd have a small market in which you can trade goods. For services like labor. And other goods and services. When it goes to trade, what drove us into money? People being greedy in the days of bartering. But people now, especially those living minimum wage, they're fighting for a living wage. The reason why teachers are, the amount of teachers in America are descending is because of budget cuts in schools as a result of militarism. Militarism is basically you prioritize the military over everything else. With West Virginia, let's talk about another topic, like West Virginia. It's to pioneer mobile voting so you could vote from the comfort of your own home. Or anywhere. Which would mean you could vote without even leaving your house. That'd mean election booths may end up closing down, ultimately, when every state does that. Let's hope, once I finish this new topic, China is gonna start beating the United States in the economy and the 5G wireless industry. Or eventually, because, you know, China's economy is growing rapidly, which means there's gonna be a crap ton of skyscrapers as a result of China's rapidly growing economy. That booming economy can have one consequence: more pollution. As a result of using more fossil fuels. The cars that tend to use the least amount of fossil fuels are the smaller cars. Like the Ford Focus, the Ford Fiesta. The problem with zero-emission vehicles is that most of our electricity we're using comes from petroleum, which causes pollution, which can lead to global warming. And it's not just us burning petroleum that's causing global warming. It's using land for factory farming, too. Because, you know, livestock animals, they produce a lot of methane. Which is why it's best to ditch beef and other meat. It's best to go vegetarian. Or maybe go vegan. Because think of it this way. If we all went vegan, we wouldn't be using as much water. Going vegetarian for 6 months can save more water than not showering for 6 months. Hey, John? I'm in the middle of a gaming video right now, John. I'll be back in about... That's my brother. Hollering at me. Let's talk about the next topic, since my brother sometimes uses Skype. Microsoft decided to start continuing using the classic Skype after receiving the modern Skype started receiving negative criticism as a result of its ugly look. Think of it like Windows 8 on Skype. Because, you know, Windows 8 was one of the worst operating systems out there. What was even worse? Windows Vista. Yes, even a lot of Microsoft employees, like my grandfather, admits to the fact that Windows Vista was not a good operating system to begin with. And Windows 7 came along to fix the problems that were caused by Vista. The problem with Vista was there were a crap ton of bugs. Yes, computer bugs in Vista. You know what I mean. Mistakes in coding. Coding mistakes. And thinking of coding mistakes, that's what led to the creeper in Minecraft. That's what led to the Minecraft creeper. Oops. Oops. Back to tilling the land. And I'll be finishing my pizza after... Oops. After I finish this video. And as soon as I start uploading it to YouTube and Twitter, I'd go downstairs for the pizza. Once I'm finished with my gaming video. With NASA's Insider rover, which was launched to Mars a couple of years back, it's getting closer to revealing the mysteries of Mars. Like, if there was life on Mars or not. Sort of like that. And eventually, if we're gonna colonize Mars, we're gonna have to start off small. We're gonna have to start pumping up electricity to generate the new Martian magnetic field, because its old one is very weak by now. Its current one is very weak by now. Which probably what led to the Martian atmosphere getting thinner and thinner. And eventually, like, what's on the upper edge of the Martian atmosphere? Olympus Mons, which is the largest mountain in the solar system. Like, in terms of area and height. And maybe volume. Yes, it's even larger than Mount Everest. That's the size of... That's how large Olympus Mons is. Yes, that is how large Olympus... Olympus Mons is about 17 miles high. While Mount Everest is 5.5 miles high. Back to Minecraft. If I add more columns, I can do rows more efficiently. And I can make progress a lot faster as a result of that. If I was to listen to a news source, I'd listen to a lot of them. Don't just listen to Fox. Listen to all the news sources to gather the most to get the most reliable information. Don't just stick to don't just stick to one news source. Go for many news sources. Because if you go to one news source, you might end up getting deceived into fake news. which is probably why our POTUS calls every news source except for Fox fake news. What we need is more reliable information. Don't just stick to one news source. Stick to a lot of them. Just like Nathan Explosion saying to Murderface, don't just buy booze. That ain't food. Yes, Murderface was bragging about his love for booze. By saying, saying this quote. What do you mean booze ain't food? I'd rather rip off my ding-ding dong to admit that. That is actually how much Murderface loves booze. He loves it so much that he would rather rip off his private parts than to admit that. I'm not trying... I don't mean to offend him. Oh. That's the quote he said. It was on episode 1 of Metalocalypse. With Murderface, he got his name from the fact that his face was actually what motivated his father into committing a murder-suicide. Where his father killed Murderface's mother, then himself. That's how he got his name Murderface. Because his face reminds people of murder. Before my brother knew about the name Murderface, he called him Mushroom Head. Yes, this is true. His head looks like a mushroom. Because of his haircut. With Murderface's... What he called an old lady, he called him something related to her wrinkled breasts. Because of her age. Which is actually kind of discriminatory against old people. Which is not good. We should treat each other with respect. Accept each other into society, no matter what. Don't call people names based on their looks. Don't call people based on their names because of their looks, because that is not nice. In fact, you're discriminating against them by doing that. Just like in Sharia law, Middle Eastern countries tend to be pretty sexist. At least they're now allowing women to drive for the first time ever. Oops. Forgot to pan that soil. Once I'm done, like look at the progress of this. Like what Nathan Explosion said over the microphone at what they called Food Library in the first episode of Metalocalypse was, "Brush Jack! Clean up on aisle 6! Rotted body landslide! Don't forget! Have of every board broken That's what he said in his death growl. That's how Nathan Explosion actually speaks, as he is the lead singer of Death Clock. This video concludes. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked this video, dislike if you disliked it, subs if you loved it, bell icon to be notified for more videos. Share this with your friends to help my channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, peace.